And we're back. Let's see if I can beat my battery now, because I've got a whole new half hour and 17% left on my battery. So I actually used up 33% in the first half hour. Okay, so what's going to happen first is we're going to draft cards. I'm going to simulate a two-player draft. So we were passing, when my brother and I first did this, we were passing the cards back and forth. That's not really necessary. So we're going to take some cards. Let's see, I've already seen those cards. So each player is going to start out with 9 cards to play, and then you can get more later. And I'll show you how we start out with the 9 cards. Start out with a player draft or a card draft. If you don't know what that is, it's with multiplayers with 3 or more players. You're going to get a hand of cards. You'll be dealt out 9. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at the whole hand, and you're going to go, ooh, that looks good, that looks good. There's a duplicate there. There's 2 of every card in this deck, in the original deck. Yeah, and I don't think there's any expansions included. So, you'll get 9 cards, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I like this one, or this one. I've never seen this one before. Oh, I've never seen this one before. So I'm gonna take it for myself, and then you'll pass the rest to the player on your left. I think, well, for this one, it's just you keep on doing that until you have 9 cards. Other games, one way I might think about doing it now is maybe I will deal out 1 card plus 1 card for each player in the game, plus, oh wait, we need 3. Oh yeah. We can do. So let's say there's 4 people playing. So we'll deal out 5, right? To each person. Then you draft. Each person takes 1. Well, that's not gonna work. I'm not thinking right this way. Anyways, so there will be 9, and then you'll pick 1 and hand the rest to the next player, and then the last person in line will hand their hand to you, and you do it again until everyone has 9 cards. Actually, I don't have to simulate a 2-player draft. 2-player draft, all it entails is you'll have a number of cards face up, which you can't see. Here. So you'll have a number of cards face up. Right? And then one person picks 1. First player picks 1, next person picks another one. You just go back and forth like that. Everyone sees it. I don't think that actually would be very good for this game. So we'll just do it the way they have it. You just pass the deck or the hand over to the next person. Let's grab 9 cards and we'll get started. I'll do a random deal. There. I mean, I'm top decking it basically, but I didn't look at any of them. I shuffled the cards first. So what we're gonna do is preparation. This is the most time-consuming part, where there's the most downtime, because the new players, especially those who are not familiar with deck building, hand building, or collectible card games, because this works in a very similar fashion, is you're gonna choose 3 spells. All the cards are spells, where they're familiars or items. They're spell cards or power cards. You'll choose 3 that you'll start out with. Then you'll choose the next 3 you'll get when the school year changes. and then the final 3 for the last year. So you'll always have 3 cards at least for each year. Now, if you don't cast all the spells the first year, let's say I cast 2 of them, it'll carry over to the next one. So now I have 4. But I'll always have at least 3. And if I cast all these, then I'll just have these 3 to start. So you'll always have at least 3 cards, but during the game you'll have the ability to get more. So, but you choose for each school year, from the first one to the final one, you will always have at least three power cards, but the future ones will be locked until it is that current school year. And then you would remind yourself, if you couldn't remember, with those tokens. So the first year, you'd have whatever's in your hand, whatever's in front of you, and then you set these 2 other stacks aside and be like, well, these are for year 2, and then these are for year 3. And then when they unlock, you just take the marker off and throw it back in the box or set them aside, and then pick up your hand of cards and start out with those, or add them to the hand you still have. Now, it's important to know to pre-plan cards, because sometimes you're not able to, like the more powerful ones, they're not going to be available to you in the beginning of the year because you'll be low on resources. And what these cards can do is get you even more resources. Whoa, pause. Okay, I'm back, and it looks like the battery wanted to die before I could finish even my 6 minutes. It jumped from, or dropped from 17% down to 5% in 6 minutes, 7 minutes. So anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so some of the things that these cards can do is give you more resources, or you know, like every turn you'll get even more energy or whatever you need, that you'll be able to cast the more powerful spells. So you want to have sort of a balance, right? Like sometimes, not every time, but sometimes what I'll do is I'll pick 2 cards that are easy to cast, and then I'll cast them, and I'll have a powerful one just in case maybe I luck out, and you know, I'll have 3 school years to cast it anyways. So, but also some people might, sorry, I'm playing with the brightness. Some people might have cards that make you discard cards out of your hand, so that's why you want to cast them right away. Or I might choose like 3 easy ones and just get them out of the way. So let's take a look at these cards real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go over the playmat actually, and I'll tell you what each thing does. So you have the scoreboard, you have the school year calendar. This is the calendar. There. And then you have your player mat. And I didn't bother to look at the book to find out the terminology. I don't know where I put it either, so it's not. Oh, it's in the box lid. Okay, so what will happen is, you have the star track that will increase every time, like every time you increase the star track, you will be able to have more cards in your tableau. So if it's at 4, that means you can cast a total of 4 spells. If you're like in year 2 and you have 2 spells left, or 2 cards left in your hand, even if you have the resources to cast them, there's no room in your tableau unless you bump it up more. There are a number of ways you can do it. One of the ways is you also have special abilities. So this is where people get confused with transmute. You have this one where you can convert any 2 resources to any 2 other resources, right? You have this that says when you transmute, that circle means you have a transmute action that you can take. You cannot transmute just because you feel like it. You need to have a card that tells you can transmute, or when you roll the dice, you need to have that symbol, that circle around it. that says, okay, it's okay to transmute your crystals or your energy. This one increases your star tracker by 1. You could be like, this would be the equivalent of being landlocked in Magic. Like, all you're doing is drawing land, and so you have no spells to cast. In this case, you'd have all these resources, but no room on your tableau. So you can increase the space by 1 each time you activate this. These are, yeah, and then maybe you're out of cards. Maybe you cast them all, and you can't roll the right die face. In which case, this is the, let's see, oh, this one doesn't have one. See, this one doesn't have the symbol I'm looking for, which would be, let's see if it's on this one. There. This symbol means draw a card. You can draw out of the power deck stack when you choose that action. Okay, so if you're stuck and you want to cast more, you would activate this, and it would allow you to draw two cards from the power card stack, and discard 1, keep the other one. So you can activate any 4 of these up to 3 times. Any combination of these 4 up to 3 times. Every time you activate it, you incur a points penalty. First time you activate it is not free. You lose 5 points at the end of the game. The next time you lose 7 more points. So you're losing 5, you lose 7, or minus 12. You lose an additional 8 points on the third time, which is negative 20. And so you'll never be able to activate each one of these once. But you might want to do the conversion 2 or 3 times. You might want to transmute and get a bonus point. You know, because sometimes points are not just points, they're used as currency also. You can add up to 3 spaces on your tableau, or you can draw up to 3 cards. I mean, you can draw 2 cards, discard 1, keep the other up to 3 times. But you better hope that you're either desperate and you know you're going to lose, or you have ways to recuperate that deficit. Because sometimes it doesn't seem like that much if you're a high scoring person, but at the very end, when things slow down, if they slow down for you, that could mark the end for you. You might have this negative 20 and then a bunch of familiars that give you negative points on the tableau. Oh, and for every card that's not cast at the end of the game in your hand is a negative 5 points, I think. So yeah, you think, oh, negative 1. No, it's negative 5 points at the end of your at the end of the round, or at the end of the game, for every card you have in your hand. I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure it's a heftier penalty than 1. Maybe it's 3 points. Okay, so I have my 9 cards. I explained the player mat. I think we're good to go for now. Oh, and there's a maximum of 7. So each one of these slots is for your energy. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, and then there's a grimoire that you can acquire later on, potentially, that'll let you hold like another 5 energy in it. There are other cards too that act as banks for you. So actually, let's leave some of these out. No one starts with anything. You have to earn everything as you play. Oh. Let's grab a few of these. This is the most functional insert, but also you need tiny fingers. I already have not so big hands, and this is a challenge to get these out. Maybe that's why I don't pull out too often, because it's a pain in the butt to get these tokens out. Okay. Alright. Start with those. Okay. So now I'm going to set up my first, second, and third sets of cards. I'll let you look at these. You can't really see them, but I'm going to peek over the camera and figure it out. So, the cost of this guy, Tidus Deep Gaze, is dependent on how many people are playing. So if 2 people are playing, it'll cost 1 fire to cast him. At the end of the round, your opponents give you 1 crystal. If an opponent wasn't able to give one to you, sacrifice Tidus Deep Gaze. Ooh. Well, that sucks. So if someone is out of crystals, then you throw this guy away. That's 4 points. But you have to activate him. So you could wait. So if you see someone has a crystal deficit, you don't have to activate him. Oh, I'm sorry. I looked at that wrong. You do. He's ongoing. Sorry. So, yeah, you might want to keep it in your hand. So this one might be a second year spell to cast, because I want to make sure that my opponents have a good amount of crystals. Right now we have 0. So pulling them out in the beginning, he's going to get thrown away really fast. This is that one that gives you 10 crystals when you play it, or 10 points. And then you get 1 crystal for each of your familiars in play. So that's good with Tidus in there. Maybe that's another second year one. And you have to activate it. So you get 10 crystals right away, and then you'd have to activate it to get so every round, if you have a different amount of familiars, or if you don't have any yet, you can wait. You can wait before activating that. Otherwise, it'd just be a waste. Let's see. This one costs 0 crystals. Glutton Cauldron. Oh, it looks like a storage thing. You activate it. When you activate it, you place 1 energy token from your reserve, which is the space up here. One energy token from your reserve on the Glutton Cauldron. And then you sacrifice. So when it contains, sacrifice the Glutton Cauldron when it contains 7 energy tokens. Put these 7 energy tokens into your reserve and gain 15 crystals. So this one's kind of okay. It's free to cast. It does take up a space on your tableau. But you have to throw it away when it's full. So if you have, like, let's say you have 5 energy tokens in your reserve, and this is full, has 7. Well, you have to throw it away when it hits 7, and you'll only get 2 out of it, and the rest of them go away. I'm gonna make this a first year thing, because it'll take me a little bit to acquire a bunch of energy. Also, it'll take, well, yeah. Oh, and also I'll be most likely to be out of energy if I'm constantly casting spells. And then we have so you gain 1 energy token for each of your other magic items play. Wow, did I shuffle this right? Oh no, I was looking at these. I was already looking at them after I pulled these out. Okay, so this is the Cursed Treaties of Arms. When you play it, you gain 2 energy tokens, 10 crystals, and increase your summoning gauge by... Wow, that's a good one. But it's negative 10 points at the end of the game. So you either have to be racking up the points, or you need to be able to get rid of this card before the end of the game. Costs 1 water to cast, and does all these cool things. Oh, I see. If all the cursed treaties or I'm sorry, if the Cursed Treaties of Aros is sacrificed, discard all the energy tokens in your reserve. Ouch. Well, you know what? That's really easy to work around. So you have to make sure you're spending all your tokens a lot. So if you only have one or two in there, no biggie. If you're full, like if your cauldron had just filled up, and then someone makes you throw away a card in your hand, for example, it's not out yet. Not only do I not get my 2 energy tokens and 10 crystals, and my bonus summoning gauge space, but then you throw away all that 7 you just earned. Let's make this a last year, 3rd year thing. Because I don't necessarily need the 10 points. If I don't have it, if someone's trying to steal points from me and I have none to give, then they just don't get anything. Gain 1 energy token for each of your magic items in play. I'll probably have a few. It's not really, this is 0 points at the end of the game. It's just whatever, you just get energy from it. So I'll make this the 2nd year spell. So I have my 2nd years all done. Eong's Forgotten Vase. When you summon a power card, gain 1 energy token. So when you play one of these cards, when you cast them, remember, power cards are items or familiars, so they're all the cards, any of the cards. Discard 3 crystals, gain 1 energy token. That's an activatable ability. Discard 1 energy token, you can transmute it this round. So there are 2 options. You can either discard 3 crystals to gain 1 energy token. So you throw away 3 points to gain one energy of your choice. Or you discard a single energy token, and in which case you transmute this round. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's actually kind of neat. I would make it. Well, it's cheap too. It's only 2 earth. So the first 2 quarters of the year is water and earth. So there's gonna be. So you can see earth is kind of rare in the water thing. But I'll keep it in my year 1, so I'll want to whip it out as soon as possible. And then it'll be more abundant in the 2nd quarter. Purse of Io, I like that one. But I tend to not transmute anything, so I'll make it a year 3. Maybe I'll end up throwing it away. When you summon a power card, gain 1 energy token. Let's do that for year 1. So this must be going to default to year 3. Sacrifice 3 power cards, gain 15 crystals. And that looks about right. Because I tend to cast my stuff really fast. Try to be ahead of the curve. And then also, I tend to cast all my stuff. I don't like throwing away cards. No matter what. Just to gain 15 crystals, 15 points, is it worth it? I don't know. This card itself is already 9 points. So I've already got it figured out. So, and all this would be done in secret, so they would be face down. Face down. I'm gonna stop the video here because I'm already at 24 minutes. Again, I talked a lot. Okay, and then we'll get into gameplay. We'll do a little bit of gameplay. Alright. See you back at the next video.